Here's the punter now, Pat McAfee, to get this one started. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out 2-25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And he left North Carolina with most of his school's records, and at one point was thought to be maybe the #1 quarterback in his draft class. He does bring deceptive athleticism and plenty of upside to the table. Add some consistency, and maybe he can really unlock what he can be in the NFL.
To throw right away is Howell. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Back to throw. Howell getting this out to the flat. Mostert. A gain of 5, good enough for the first. First down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. Howell, he'll look to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And the stiff arm proved fruitful for a second, but the daylight quickly snuffed out. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2. Throwing here, Howell. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Here comes the Lions punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And this will be taken at the 13. A beautiful fake. And he is finally forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021.
the field goal kicker just stay on the bench. They want to put it in the end zone and get 6 out of this one. If they don't, I think it'll feel like a disappointment.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Escaping the pressure right. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
So 1st and goal now from the 7-yard line. They'll run with Etienne. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Travis Etienne taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Steelers are on the board first here this afternoon.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots and going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. They had the short field and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And Carter deciding not to bring this one out. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. The last series for them a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Powell throwing on 1st down here. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Powell changing the play here. On 2nd down, here's Henry. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Lions with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Powell now to throw it. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he is going to have a Lions 1st down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the 1st half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the 2nd half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
They'll throw on 1st down. Here's Howell. It's complete. This is Derrick Henry. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Another throw for Howell. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the 13-time Pro Bowler Ray Lewis. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick six. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just want to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick six.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. No return here for Carter, and this will be a touchback. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one, and they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Inside handoff to Mixon. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. 14 yards. And the Steelers take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here this first half. And now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that, because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league. But this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Travis Etienne
with his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Steelers are able to add on to their first half lead. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it is 28-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick.
And Carter deciding not to bring this one out.
So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And a loose football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And a fast footwork by White. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
following the fumble recovery. Fields. And this one is incomplete.
Well, they had that one snipped out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10. To throw is Fields.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And in for the Steelers touchdown.
Travis Etienne
On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick.
From his end zone, here comes Carter.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
Starting to get the sense throughout the league that more of the special teams coordinators give their guys the green light to bring the ball out because everyone wants big plays to happen. I don't know if that philosophy will hold after that error there, turn it over that deep in their own territory.
Do guys go rogue there a lot based on feeling?
I think a lot of them just sense that they can make a play and make a huge one to help their team. And they have to have that athletic arrogance about themselves. And every now and then, though, it'll cost them. And that's what we just saw there.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
Justin Fields.
A 16-yard touchdown run.
And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it is 42-0. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10.
Powell from the gun.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score.
Well, Charles, I mean, things just seem to be getting worse and worse for one sideline. Or flip it over after that fumble return for a touchdown. Better and better on the opposite end. What an impressive first-half performance.
And, partner, I know the saying in the NFL goes that no lead is safe. But I will say that this one seems pretty secure. And if we continue to see plays like that, I'm going to switch back and say this lead is safe.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
First down, how to throw. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. But good hands there defensively. And second down. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. They need 2. Here's third down. Powell. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Pulled in at the 24. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. One of the top performers in that first half was the running back Travis Etienne. He had 2 touchdowns on the ground and added another on the receiving end for good measure. He was awesome.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter.
Oh!
Still going. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40.
What a way to start the second half. These guys are showing no signs of letting up. They have a chance to take a decided advantage with this possession.
The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things?
There he goes, right side. Travis Etienne. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Travis Etienne, 59 yards. And the Steelers just continue to roll.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Well, in every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
2nd and 10 now. Third quarter action from Philadelphia, PA. Here's Howell. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. This will be fielded at the 17.
And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt.
And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
A play fake, now Fields to throw. That's complete. It's Travis Kelce. Look at the big fella go.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Travis Kelce, 71 yards.
And the Steelers are pouring it on.
When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick.
From his end zone, here comes Carter. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Lions offense set to take over. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Now Howell.
Throw right side complete to Carter. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Faking the handoff. Howell.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the Football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about...
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Justin Fields
Taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Steelers get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Detroit's offense ready to take over.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
That is Bruce Irvin using that speed to get in there and blow the play up.
This defense just in the run game. Case in point right there.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry.
And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports.
Powell throwing on third down here.
That is caught. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
No, check that. 152 right here.
And Howe will throw it. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's 2nd and 10.
To throw again. Howell.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Back to throw again. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. Taking it about the 16. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return, and we have reached the 2-minute warning.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see.
And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Badgley on for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Powell to the air on 1st and 10. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert.
No gain on the screen there at 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
He had to fight for every yard on that run. Shook himself free of a tackle and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
From the gun on 3rd down. Powell.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. This is fielded at the 27. Sheds off the tackle. And now the rookie's free. And they are going to finish this one off strong. It's a return touchdown to add on to their lead in the final stages.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
Here's Badgley now to try to add to PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line. And that one is his second fumble loss. Not a good